Hi everyone, this is Vijay Kumar Bolikonda, CEO of TechnoZen Software Private Limited. So currently we are situated in Q Hub, Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad. So landmark is Madhapur Metro Station, Hyderabad. So I would like to introduce about our company. So first of all, the company having a software services in training and as well as outsourcing. So when it comes to training, we are starting with one particular course that is called AI testing with playwright rule. So why we are starting this particular course is the little bit introduction about myself is about my career. So I'm having around 20 years of experience into IT, or mainly into testing. So I started my career as a test engineer. So worked with many MNCs and almost worked for around 20 different projects and teams and the clients. I worked with different domains like e-commerce, banking, healthcare, telecom, digital marketing. So all these years I have gone through different businesses and different kind of verticals in the business side and the technology side. And I've been to different models as well, kind of agile methodology, waterfall, and different things. So like when I come to know about all these information through my experience, and I came to know that the testing has a great impact on the quality side, and the how do we provide the quality software to the client. So though it is not completely with the development activity or it's not involving coding, but it has very good challenging role when you are placing in QA team, especially when it comes to releases. So as a QA person, you are the owner of the product, and you have to give the sign off to the client so that the client will rely on your feedback and your report, and he will take it forward, and then he will push that project to the production. So where QA engineer plays very key role between the development team and the client. So it is very challenging, even though you are not developing the project and even though you are not coding it, but you are the ultimate decision maker of the product, because you are the quality owner, and you are going to see end-to-end process of the project and end-to-end deliverables from right from the scratch until production and release. So this is very interesting role where you play, and where you get a chance to look into so many things as a QA engineer. So all these years I have been to different projects and the different environments. Then it was very challenging and tight deadlines and different verticals and the different line of businesses, and also different time zones and different teams across the globe. So all these years I have gone through all these things, and I got ample experience handling the team and multiple teams as well and multiple projects simultaneously. So all this experience uh, gave me so much of immense knowledge as well as exposure to different business verticals. So coming to this particular role, let's say when it comes to QA, people will understand that the QA doesn't require coding, and so that the people who don't know the coding, and they can come to software project and they can do as a QA engineer or manual test engineer. So it was right only almost 10 to 15 years back, where the people will have only to access, let's say, the manual testing project, and there are some functional testing team as well as automation testing teams are different, and in then they collaborate and they will deliver the things. But right now in the current scenario, it's not like that. So you are the only one person who will be taking care of both manual testing as well as automation testing. So since AI is penetrated like anything from last 4 to 5 years, the companies are looking at only the person having a programming knowledge as well as kind of a functional testing knowledge. So there is no separate teams are maintained or the separate verticals in the testing also. Earlier there are verticals in the meaning the different line of businesses. Let's say manual testing is one particular vertical differently from the automation testing team. So that means there will be individual teams, the manual testing team coordinating with the automation team, then they will do their respective jobs. The manual testing team will have manual testing execution and they will pass on the manual test cases. Once they are passed after one QA cycle, then they will forward it to automation team, then they will take care of automating the application using writing the automation framework and the script. But right now the situation is different because the people wanted to see as a automation engineer as well as your manual engineer together. So and also since the many tools are introduced, let's say in recent times AI tools are involving in the testing part also. So since AI testing tools are involving in the process, then definitely the company will see cost reduction and they will rely more on AI tools and other dependent tools rather than the manual intervention. So they're slowly cutting down manual testing jobs and they are relying on some tools as well as automation engineers. So then it comes to burden to the test engineer that he need to do manual testing whenever it is needed, and also he must do automation testing whenever it is needed in the project. So that's the reason companies are hiring directly automation engineer. So not they are hiring manual engineer, then they will provide training or they are coordinating with the automation engineer. So those kind of stuff is not happening from last almost I can say 5 years. So the companies are very specific in hiring, so they wanted to see more of automation engineers onboarded, even though there is no automation work in the initial stage, because they are expecting some projects in the coming years, or let's say engagements they are in line with the other clients. So they are definitely want to hire automation engineer first. So and also since the environment is changing, so because software environment itself changing drastically from I can say year to year. So the people who are entering into the market must know the programming language, especially into the IT side. They must understand the importance of the programming and they must know the programming, then only they will survive. Whether you are a QA engineer or any other static let's say static positions, like there are a document writer or any UI developer or UI tester, whoever it is, everybody must know one programming language and they should be proficient enough to survive in the market. So when it comes to QA testing, the QA testing definitely involves so much of automation going on from decades. So right now, since AI tool is also introduced part of the testing process, then definitely the company want to hire a candidate having at least one good programming language. So whether you learn JavaScript or Java or Python, any one programming language you must know, and you should be very proficient about that language. It's not like that you know the basics and you think that after getting into the project you will try to do R&D on the project and you will get to see the hands on after 6 months or something like that. It's not happening right now. So before getting into the project, even as a fresher also, you should have good hands on and you are ready to be onboarded on the project, right? So that is the requirement of the company. So earlier it was not that much complicated. The people will hire the candidate and the company will let's say they will provide some training, internal training, and they will brush up the candidates for their technical needs, and then they will place the candidate into some projects. Right now it's not like that, so you have to learn with much proficiency, and you should be placed in a project. So that's the reason you should understand the importance of the programming right now in the current trend. Okay, then why we are doing only AI testing training? So why means, definitely right now, since automation has started, so we the market has already started with some tools almost way back in 20 years, they started with windrunner, after that qtp, and there are other related mercury tools, and after that selenium introduced almost from 12 to 13 years. Then the selenium has come into the very key projects, and they are dependent on selenium for web application. And after that, apm tool especially for mobile application testing. So all these years we have seen all these tools. So right now, apart from this, adding to on top of it, so there is playwright tool coming up with the AI integration as well. So since AI integration is mandatory for QA projects, and some other clients also engaging AI related clients, so the client base will look into the company profile first, because the how company is performing, what kind of knowledge they have, what kind of COE, let's say center of excellence, having that particular company. So all these things, the client will look into one company, and they will try to evaluate the company. So since companies are growing with the latest trends, then only the clients will understand their capacity, so that they will go to client that particular company, and they will try to analyze their requirement, whether they can this particular company can match their requirements or not. So all this stuff happens in the back end, but the companies need to improve on technology part, because the software company motive is to provide the technology services, and that too with the accuracy and with the competent latest technologies. So once the companies themselves not providing with the efficient knowledge base and efficient people management with the latest technologies, then definitely they will fall back. So it happened with so many technical companies as well. Whenever they are not adopting latest technologies, definitely they fall back, and they will be out of the market. So all this taking into consideration, so people will mostly getting into the AI, and they need to have AI related stuff on their company. So that's the reason, since QA is expanded like anything into different domains and different projects across globe. So QA plays a key role in every project, because without QA you cannot release any project. Definitely without QA sign off, you cannot move forward to any production. So definitely QA plays a key role irrespective of any domain. So you need not to rely on any particular domain, because if you are strong in QA methodologies and QA activities and the automation side, and especially with the latest tools, then you are done. So if somebody wants to place you on banking project, you can work on or e-commerce project, or any healthcare, any telecom, whatever the domain is. You learn only one technology, but you will diversify it into different domains. So that is the beauty of QA. But when it comes to other technology people, because they are very restricted to one particular domain, and they have to go with that particular domain only for a long time. But when it comes to QA is very dynamic in nature. Let's say if you know the concept, then within one day also, let's say in the morning session you work on one domain, in the second half you can also work on different domain. That is the flexibility of the QA, because the QA is in its core only for the quality, not to the technology. Because if you understand the core of the QA, then definitely you will implement the same things into different domains and different technologies, irrespective of any other environment. So that is the beauty of QA. So when it comes to, so that why I'm stressing on this point means, the ample opportunities you will get it irrespective of the domain. So you forget about which domain is in the current market is in high or which domain is low, or let's say sometimes the banking domain clients are very engaging and their investments are more, then you will get the more opportunities. Sometimes the let's say e-commerce applications are ruling the market and you will get more opportunities. Or other side, let's say some other technology guys will come into the picture as per the situation, as per their need. But it's nothing happens with the QA. Actually nothing dependent on all these technologies. Whatever the technology coming into the let's say onboarded into your client, or they are leaving the client, nothing will happen to the QA, because you remain as with your core knowledge and you will engage on different clients and different verticals. So that is one thing where you can expand your knowledge and expand your opportunities as a QA engineer. So the first thing is you already learning QA technologies with core knowledge and QA methodologies, and after that adding to that automation side, and automation we are engaging with the AI. So that's the reason. So when it comes to AI, it's not like only you are working with AI applications. So if you learn this automation, you can work with mobile application as well as web application testing and AI testing as well. So if you know all these things at a stretch, then whatever the project they have in the current market or current client base, you will be working on that. So that is the let's say flexibility of QA engineer. Okay. And so when it comes to kind of different trainings we are providing, so first thing we discussed about what kind of training we are providing. So training is only automation testing with AI. Okay, that is the training. And types of training. So types of training, there is online training and offline training. So online training only involves online trainer will be available. Mostly we are engaging the candidates within Indian timings only. So Indian timings only, you will be having a trainer available and he will take care of it. Okay. And the second thing, offline training. So offline training we are providing from the our base office Q Hub, Jubilee Hills, landmark Madhapur metro station, where the candidate need to be available from morning 11 to evening 7 o'clock, almost 8 hours of engagement the candidate need to be taken care. So what happens with the offline training? So online training, we already discussed online training having around only online classes on the Indian time zone, and duration and the price will be around 2 months of duration, and the price will be approximately 30,000 per student. Okay. So that is online training. When it comes to offline training having a kind of a different structure, so different services altogether, because online training having only kind of a online trainer available, and you will listen and you will complete it. And mostly for online trainers we will be having a kind of a resume preparation service only we will provide, and we will leave. Okay. That is the end of the online training course. So when it comes to offline course, so offline course having kind of a 6 months of duration, and it will be around 8 hours, Monday to Friday. Monday almost it start with 11 o'clock and it will end with 7 o'clock in the evening. So that means Monday to Friday 8 hours, around 40 hours we will provide training. So 40 hours of weekly training what we are providing. So let's take example of one particular week, how one software company works. So software company works like 8 to 9 hours these days. So then they will start with their project setup, and after that project related activities and the task and the delivery part and their meetings and everything will be taken care, right? So that is how the project goes in the IT. In the same way, So when we start with our training, with the offline training, so we will engage the candidates for full day. So there will be training as well as screening and evaluation on technical, communication as well as behavioral. So communication is like, let's say, communication is the key in the current market, as the people are more concentrated on communication side, especially for QA side. Why means, as I discussed in the very early discussion, so QA places in between dev as well as client. So communication is very key point for the QA engineers. That means whatever the communication he is taking care of from dev side, and he should be communicating with the client side, whether it is defect report or the test case evaluation or any testing related activities, everything he need to take care. So right now these days what is happening, the each and every QA person is interacting with the client side. So earlier it was not like that. So earlier the QA lead was the owner who will taking care of all the QA activities of the QA members from the India team, and he will present that to the client who is sitting outside of India, right? So then the QA, if the QA lead is enough to communicate, then that is fine with the whole team. But right now it's not like that. Each person, each QA person, even each dev person also need to connect with the client. So client engagement is mandatory for each and every person. So when it comes to the communication part, what will happen, that definitely the IT people and the IT management will see good communication from the each and every person in the project. So if the communication is the lack, so when it comes to the communication is not only about talking. Okay, communication involves how you are talking and how you are listening also. So what kind of communication the client is engaged to have, then all these things you should be very keen to look into it. And the most of the interviews also rejected by the HR team or management team based on the communication and also the behavioral aspects. So even though you are let's say you are okay with your technical skills, but your communication and behavioral skills are not matching to the company expected standards, definitely they will reject you, because they are going to submit your profile to the client. So one more thing, so communication is the key. And another thing, these days the for some of the experienced candidates, they are also conducting client rounds before releasing the offer. So right, so the client wants to see the performance of the candidate also before offer being released. So in this case, if the candidate is technically sound but very lack in communication, definitely we will not be suitable for that candidate, right? So definitely these things will matter to the client. And after that, behavioral training. So what is behavioral training? So behavioral training, apart from the communication, so how you are molding yourself to the different situations and the complex situations in the interview and the project, that also we will see in person. So for this reason, the candidate need to be evaluated in person, and the candidate should be available in the office. So for that reason, all these aspects, the things which are required to the IT company, we need to be very well groomed before the candidate getting into the interview room. So all these things we will discuss in person to the candidates. So that's the reason we wanted to have a candidates on the floor, and we be available just like in IT company. And you should be readily available from 11 o'clock to till 7 p.m. in the evening, so that the candidate having the rapport with the team, and also rapport with the doubts or any kind of issues he is facing in the learning mode of training, and also grooming the person on weekly basis. And all these things we will record it on our internal apps, and we will try to have a good conversation with each and every person in person. And also we will mostly we will hire that particular candidate who are meeting the industry standard as soon as possible. So that is the limitation of the any IT company. So for that reason, the candidate need to be available on the floor, and he need to be ready with the all these skill set, technical skill set, communication skill set, and behavior skill set, so that he should be ready with that all these things. And after that, we will outsource that candidate to the particular IT company only. So that is our responsibility to place the candidate after completion of 6 months only. And once again, there is no guarantee, that we are not giving the guarantee that kind of a percentage of placement we are going to provide, right? It's not like that. So once you are going through all these 6 months of training and evaluation from our end, by fourth month and fifth month itself, we will come to know the capacity and the communication from the client, so that what kind of skill set he need to improvement, so that we will do rigorous analysis again, and we will try to improve from fourth month onwards itself. So our idea is to groom the person very well as per the industry standard, and place according to the client need. Okay, so it's not like that it's not like that we are charging something. That reason the candidate need to be placed 100% at the client side. Don't think like that, because for offline training we will take 6 months of time. We will invest these many hours on the candidate and the batch, and each and every person's feedback will be available in the internal portal, and that too in the video format, as well as along with the evaluation of internal test what we conduct, let's say on paper based or online based, that will be recorded. And apart from that, video recording of each and every person's evaluation on weekly basis or monthly basis, everything will be available, so that he can see that video and improve himself further. And after that, he will also know, or like the plus and minus of his particular profile, so that he can improve on daily basis. So for that reason, we are providing this whole service for 6 months, and we are charging around 2 lakhs of rupees for this whole curriculum, so that the candidate need to be fully ready for the IT industry. Okay, so these are the services. The one is online, the other one is offline training we are providing. And more details, like you can when you are walking into our let's say the offline mode or online mode, we will be sharing more details in the screening as well. So thank you all. Thank you very much once again. Wish you all the best.